Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, a very excited and happy studio, and I think I'm pretty sure a very happy Aline Fobbe next to me in the sofa. Aline, how happy are you?
Super happy. I'm so proud of this team, what they achieved today. It's really well deserved. All the effort they put in it, and it's showing off now, and it gives me goosebumps inside as well that they finally get like a beautiful result, and it's the whole tournament. It's not just this game, how they manage it. It's just wow, well done, and I'm super happy for them. It's great.
Yeah, how important is this bronze medal for this Belgium team? Because I heard Sophie Geert saying it as a commentator. It's maybe even more important than the silver medal they had a couple of years ago for the momentum now. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's super important, and it shows like the progress and what this team is able to achieve in the coming years. I think we haven't seen everything at all yet. This is only the beginning, and it's great that such young players can already experience this important games and such a medal. It's just it's great for them to keep growing from it. Really, yeah.
We'll dive into the important players for Belgium today. Maybe a word about Spain. I heard you say also you expected a bit more from them in this final.
Yeah, I think we could see there were some technical difficulties sometimes with Spain. I didn't feel that they were totally in the game, whereas Belgium was really playing with a lot of conviction. They really wanted every ball. They played with passion and with daring and wanting to win. And I think it was lacking a little bit with Spain. They had a lot of corners, not with so much conviction. And yeah, I think really deserved win today for sure.
Yeah, what makes a difference then? Because it's like you said, conviction. I do agree. There was a lot more passion, a lot more fire in the Belgian team. Where does that come from?
Difficult to say. I think the momentum maybe a little bit also of the tournament. You could see that Belgium really grew into this tournament, and they were game by game really playing super well. Whereas Spain maybe had a little more difficulties to get to this position. Maybe they have a bit less confidence then. Also with their corner and everything. Maybe the Olympics play a big role as well. That for Belgium, we said it as well. This is their moment, their tournament to shine. And Spain, in the back of their mind, is still also busy maybe with the Olympics and preparing for that. So I think different things there.
Yeah, exactly. We could also say it was a very mature game from the Belgian team. I think we discussed the young players a lot. But I think they just managed the game very well. They didn't give away a lot of chances, and just a very solid management of the game, let's say.
Yeah, it was a great team performance really, and you could see the defense was there as a block. They didn't give away much, and that just gives energy and confidence to the rest of the team. And then when Barbara puts that first goal, it's just an explosion of emotions and of even wanting it more. So I think, like you said, super mature. They played with passion and with belief also. They weren't afraid to make mistakes. And that's just, we've seen it throughout the whole tournament. And I'm happy that even when it matters during games like this, that they don't freeze under the pressure anymore. And I think they worked a lot on their mental strength as well. You could see that as well.
Yeah, is that maybe the hand of the new coach? Because you said anymore, so that's a problem that we solve right now for the future?
Yeah, I think before we always had it a bit in us to compete already with the big teams, and but in the end, when it mattered and on the big games, it was always just not coming out, and then we didn't play as much. And now I don't know what they did mentally, of course, how their preparation was, but you could just feel that there is a different atmosphere and a different belief, and that they really grew already. So it's great to see.
Yeah. It is indeed. It is indeed. I asked you to choose an MVP for this game. I guess it will be a Belgian girl. Who is your MVP, Aline?
Really difficult for me. As I said, great team performance. The defense, I really want to say, like the defense also won this game. But if I have to pick one, I would say Babs, Barbara Nelen, for her first goal. It's an amazing goal, how she goes on the baseline and then flips it over the goalie. And I think it also opens up the rest of the game, because you never know when it takes a while for the first goal to fall. It can create a bit more stress, and here we didn't even have that because they controlled the game throughout the whole 60 minutes. And also the goal of Babs really helped there, and it was impressive to see how she did that.
Okay. All right. Maybe to end up before going to the final, towards that final, what do you expect from the final? Who do you expect to win it?
I would say I think the Dutch girls are gonna win. I think it's gonna be a close game, like every final. Germany is not gonna give away much, especially in the beginning. Probably quite a close game. But I hope we're gonna see a really nice game of hockey with lots of speed and some nice goals as well. But I think the Netherlands are not gonna give it away at home today.
Okay, we'll see that. Aline Fobbe, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. And maybe another excitement and applause from the studio to thank Aline. Thank you very much, Aline. And now I'll welcome our two next guests for the preparation of the final game of this tournament, the final of the women. Darran Beasly and James de Plesis, you can join me in the sofa now. Thanks. Thank you. How you doing? So we're making our sofa a little bit less European for now, or yeah, actually both our guests are for at least what is it? 15 years for you, Darren, in Belgium now.
Been here forever.
James as well, 5 years or a bit more.
A little bit more.
So we've got a South African and an Australian, but two half Belgians, two great hockey coaches, two experts that will help us. They will share their knowledge and their expertise on the last game, the final. Maybe I'll start with Darren. How did you experience the tournament so far?
I thought it quite a slow start, quite defensive. Everyone seemed a bit tired in the start of the tournament. And yeah, the Dutch trainers rolled on the whole time. I was very happy and pleased to follow the progress of the Belgian girls. Very curious to see teams like Ireland, the surprise silver medalists in the last World Cup, where they were sitting now and how they came out of their Corona period. So it's been very interesting to see where everyone is leading into the Olympics, and then also how good our girls have done it on for Belgium.
James, have you seen? I guess you also followed the games.
Yeah, I think Darren said much of it. I think lots of the teams are really focused on their Olympic journey, so it's been interesting to see how they manage that. I'd hope that in the Olympics, maybe some of the game style changes. Maybe they're not trying to give too much away. But yeah, I think it's been a very interesting tournament so far.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna start by going into the German team. We're gonna have a look at their players. A bit looking at their journey. So far, Germany, their road to the final, they play 1-1 against Belgium, they won 2-0 against England, and they won the last pool game 4-0 against Ireland to then beat Germany. Germany didn't beat Germany. To beat Spain 4-1 in the semi-final. While the Netherlands, they won 4-0 against Ireland, 7-1 against Spain, and 10-0 against Scotland, and they beat Belgium in the semi-final. So maybe that's already a first small difference to notice. I counted the goals, so 24 goals again for 2 against for the Netherlands, while 11 goals and 2 against for Germany. James, it's a machine, Netherlands for the moment.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that it's going to be a relatively tough final, because finals are always tough. But I do think the Netherlands have proven themselves in this tournament. In terms of Germany, if you look at their last game specifically, I feel like they really struggled against Spain. I think Spain was putting them under a lot of pressure continuously. And the result of that game, you could say there's 2 free goals towards the end of that game because Spain took their goalkeeper off. So I think it's going to be a tricky game today, especially for Germany. It's all going to depend on how they come out against a really strong Dutch side.
Yeah, they don't look completely settled after they had their selection not too long ago before the tournament, and then some big names missed out in Wieland and Gablach as well. So I think they're still finding themselves a little bit, Germany, which could click today.
Yeah, about that, as a coach, to leave out for 2 major tournaments. Janne Müller-Wieland, you mentioned it. She's been, I think, the captain as well, and been the central defender for the last, I don't know how many years. It's a gamble to leave such a important player home before this summer coming up, right?
Yeah, certainly a lot of experience that comes with her in the big tournaments as well. But it's not a decision you take lightly. So I'm sure it was thought about quite a lot with the coaches plus and the selection team of Germany. You don't just make that decision from one day to the next, and unfortunately, there comes an end to all international careers, and timing for this one certainly wasn't perfect, I think.
Yeah, you know the coach of Germany very well, Reckinger. I think you even heard him in the last days. How is he looking forward to this game?
He's a guy for the big moments, and he'll be enjoying the whole process. I know he's also got one eye certainly on the Olympics, so I don't think we'll see everything from the German team today that you'll probably see at the Olympics. But he's not worried about any challenge, and I think in a whole Germany will be happy that they're in the final, and also, like they always are, confident that they can do something against anyone.
Okay,
including this.
We'll get back on Germany in a sec, but I see we have a special guest joining us right now. Angus Kirkland, the general director of the EHF. I think it's very nice to have him with us in the Scorrd Sofa now. It's been an amazing tournament. It wasn't easy. He will tell us all about it, but it wasn't easy to organize such a major tournament in the given circumstances. So. Welcome, Angus. Thanks for having some time in your busy schedule to join us. I know we're missing the sound. Yeah, can it be a little bit louder? Okay, Angus. Am I looking at a tired but satisfied general director right now? All right. Yeah, we're still trying to fix the sound. I don't know if the people home can hear you better. Maybe tell us a bit about how difficult it was to organize a tournament in the given circumstances. I guess was a hell of a job.
We speak.
You want to hear us?
Yeah, indeed. I think you guys did a hell of a job. Was an amazing tournament. I guess you also enjoyed yesterday the finals. I think it was on the men's side the perfect end on an amazing tournament, right?
They want to focus on us so that they can unplug a cable or something.
Okay.
Okay, Angus, maybe last question towards the final. It's a quite exciting final. I think it's a really nice two really strong opponents. What do you expect from this this final game?
I expect that Germans will put up a very strong defense. I think the Dutch came on as a whole. There's many weaknesses in that team. So I think the Dutch will be favourites, but it's one of the matches to find. I think you have the sports.
All right. Finally, a small guess on the end score. A little prognostic on your side. A guess on the end score. What it will be. Who's gonna win? Nelson 2-1. All right. Thanks a lot, Angus, and talk to you soon. All right. Let's I think we were talking about the German team, and I think James, you had we're just trying to fix to see if we have the visuals back. But anyway, you've chosen three players from the German team to have an eye on in this final. Three players that impressed you so far in the tournament, and that we should follow closely in the final.
Yeah, I think one to look out for is Lorenz, Nika or Nike. That's how I remember it. A really strong midfield player, and then up front we have there's two. There we go. Jetta and Charlotte. One really young player who's just recently joined the team, and then one a little bit older, more mature player. Both scoring goals during this tournament at least. So it's been super interesting to watch them up front. Obviously, I think Germany, I would have loved them to score more goals. But I think that today, those two up front are going to be super crucial in seeing what the result is going to be.
Yeah, you've selected forwards. Do you expect they will be that the forward part will be very important, or
of course
will be only defending?
In a final, it's about the final tally effectively. So up front is going to be super important. It's going to be about obviously putting the Netherlands under pressure. You can't just let the Dutch play hockey. So one, in the press, you're going to have to press them relatively well, whether it's half court or full, it doesn't matter. You're going to have to keep them where you want them to go. And then if you do get any opportunities, it's about scoring those opportunities, especially in the final. I don't think the Dutch want to go to shootouts against Germany. So I think the Dutch are going to be putting full pressure to try and, let's say, end that result from the start. And it's going to be about Germany. If the Dutch score, Germany needs to score as well to make it as even as possible. So I think it's going to be a really interesting game.
Yeah, I think certainly a Stappenhorst is probably one of the few players that could actually squeeze into the Dutch team. So if anything's going to happen today, she's going to have to.
Yeah, let's have a look. We selected a little clip where we can see the talent of the young forwards. If we could have the clip started. Sure, it's gonna come. Germany.
So England against Germany. England in their red tops with an early penalty corner. Yes, and Emily de Fronde would be another similar story. Oh, that's a wonderful goal. That is a very special goal from a very special player there.
Disallowed, but
spinning and firing it, and Maddie Hinch reacted, but she couldn't get across that.
Yeah. There is a back stick outside the 25.
Okay.
So it's a free hit and they keep their referral.
Okay, thank you. But outside of 25?
Germany, nice work from them. Into the circle they go. Lovely spin on the ball. Shot comes in. Oh! Nothing Hinch can do about that one. And Germany have their second goal. This time I don't think it'll be any recourse. the video to save them on this occasion. What a finish!
Yeah, that's Nico de Kerpel there diving to keep the ball alive, but it's Fleischer's here where the ball eventually falls to her on the right side of the circle, and she just winds up and smashes it. What a great finish from that angle. Hinch, you can say, might wanted to do better, but really just beating for pace. Hinch having to deal with the sun as well, streaming into her eyes.
Yeah,
in this
so Darren,
half.
as you were saying, I
That
think
really
if you
was
see
a
here,
cracking
you see
finish.
we haven't seen a lot of
And you have
video
to
in
say,
this
Kate,
clip,
I think
but you see the quality
3
that you
points
have
that
in
they've
front
deserved
with
a much improved
Stefanos
performance from Germany.
and Jette. It's
And they've,
yeah, it's quite
they've really
impressive,
bossed
right?
things.
Yeah, from nothing can come a goal. We saw Belgium create enough chances in the semi-finals that with maybe a little bit more experience, a little bit more quality in the final third, that you can put a bit more scoreboard pressure onto Holland. And I think since Stappenhorst's injury, she's starting to find her form. I've seen her since 2013. Followed her, and she's starting to really find her world class form again. So today's a good stage. And then Flesch, well, I can't say the name, but same amount of talent coming through. So if we see an efficient Germany today against a Dutch goalkeepers that haven't touched a lot of balls in the whole tournament, could be interesting.
I think that's probably the hardest thing is the efficiency of Germany in the circle. I think if they can get that efficiency up, then we're going to see a really interesting game, because I don't see them getting into the circle nearly as much as I think the Dutch will get into their circle. So it's all going to be about efficiency today.
Well, the stats against Belgium and Holland were quite more even than I think a lot of people thought as well. So I think. Like we saw the draw from Germany in the first game with Belgium, so I think they can get it close, and it's a good attack, but it's a good midfield, it's a solid defense. They've got enough weapons to really cause Holland some.
And as we said, they only got 2 goals against, and that was the same, by the way. But so if they can keep their structure like they've proven that they can do, they have the individual quality to just stay in the game for the entire final.
Yeah, exactly. For sure, it's not for me. It's correct. The correct final. Watching it go through the tournament, and I think it'll be tighter than a lot of the people in the stadium would want.
Okay, let's look at the Netherlands. Normally we should have a clip about the Netherlands too, to look a bit forward to their talent. Let's watch that together.
I couldn't quite see that.
We selected one player in general to talk about. Darren.
Which one?
Lovely ball out to the right hand side. Spain pulling players back, but in deep trouble here. And what a finish! And what a counter-attack from the Netherlands.
So I'll let you discuss. We will go to your 3 players to watch for the Netherlands.
Yeah, you could choose 16 of them. I think there's so much talent and so much impressive athleticism on the field for them. If the Netherlands under-21 team was in the competition as well, they also wouldn't come last. There's so much depth, but I think we've seen the proper arrival of Matla. That's a scoring machine. In the 2016 Junior World Cup in Chile, she arrived there as well, and already saw what was going to come.
It looks so easy. I mean, I think we saw now one goal with her backhand. She made exactly the same. I think in another game.
Yeah. She's usually in the right spot at the right time. She is similar to a Blake Govers of Australia, also a drag flicking striker. So they get the field goals plus the penalty corner goals. So a lot of her game is about those numbers, and she scored enough to arrive in the final with a good confidence. So I expect to see her on the.
I think she's top scorer, right?
Is she top scorer?
I think more. Yeah, I think she's maybe on a how you say it on a divided first spot.
Yeah, she didn't see the stats, but doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. And she's scoring corners, field goals, rebounds. I think she's benefited from the absence of who's the striker that's missing from Holland?
I'm
the injured one.
not sure.
Oh, there's an injured. Yeah, she certainly had a tournament to be proud of, and something that we a bit expect for this, and also expect in the Olympics as well. Yeah.
And maybe a word about the other two players you've chosen, Darren.
Yeah, two completely different players at different moments of their career. De Goede is world class in everything she does. She's efficient with the ball. She's dangerous with the ball. She's clean. She adds goals from the midfield. She's a real true leader of this machine. They all look up to her quite a lot as well, which says a lot about her.
And she was announced not to play the tournament normally, so she came back very early from her injury, and you could see how important she is. Straight from the first game, being there and making the difference.
Yeah, her vision on the game is exceptional, and there's not a lot of wrong choices in what she does.
She makes hockey look so easy to me. I mean, she's not doing complicated choices. It's not a completely different style from Matla. I mean, she's inside the circle, one of a kind. She has great skills. I'm not saying Eva hasn't. She has great skills as well, but she's just so decent in everything she does. She never loses the ball. Her basic techniques is so solid, actually.
Yeah, she's always. Yeah, you would never ever see her even score 6 on 10 for a game. She's always 7 or 8 and in everything, and like I said, in the games, in every second game she adds another goal as well. Yeah, and then the other one at the other end, Stella van Giels, just starting in the team, coming a bit from nowhere from Pinoquet, and I'm really astonished with her progress in the tournament, and she seems to be a fixed piece of Alison's puzzle. I'm very curious to see her performance today, because I think that might have an impact on her selection for the Olympics.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about a little bit about the Olympics, because I think it's an important element in this final. But how you mentioned it, if the under-21 would be here, they would also play well. The fact that they can just enter a girl like that with, I think, 4 caps prior to the tournament says a lot about the number of great players they have, right, James?
Yeah. I think the depth in the Netherlands is insane. I think if we look at Belgium, we're still trying to create that sort of depth. It's an ongoing process, but I mean, if you look, I don't know how many finals they've had for the European Championship, but the Dutch have been in all of them. So home ground advantage today, I think it's going to, it's almost just like playing a regular game for them, but also in saying that they are playing against Germany, and it is going to be much of a mental game. It is preparation for both teams for the Olympics, and how they manage that and their different plans and how they evolve them. I think that's going to play a massive part today.
Yeah. But okay. It's a final, like every final, so exactly. So
we'll talk about that Olympic importance, and we're just waiting for Darren to join us and the sound being okay. That Olympic tournament coming up, both teams obviously they have that as their final goal. We spoke a little bit, Darren, prior to the Scorrd Sofa, mentioning that, questioning whether they would completely give away their PC variations and all that. What's your thoughts on that? I
don't think the Netherlands need to. I think, I would be surprised to have a Massacre scoring, Matlas scoring. So you've got two world-class flickers at the moment that are gonna, of course, get some chances to score goals. And knowing Rick Xavier from Germany, I don't think he will either. I think they'll more test goalkeepers and not show too much for Tokyo coming up.
You expect the same, James?
I think both teams have, you could say, a strong drag flick, and I feel like everyone knows that they have that. I don't think they're going to show some of their, let's say, more flary variations in the PC. I don't think they need to with such a strong flick. If you look at just general hockey, if you have a strong drag flick, just go for it. The variations are the last minute. But yeah, I think I think PCs. I like to think PCs will play a big role. Germany and Holland both have really strong PC defense, so it's just going to be about how they manage the top of the circle in defense.
Yeah, certainly the impact of Massacre in the semi-final, scoring the 3-1 to basically kill off the Belgian charge. I think the corners today will be very important. Yeah.
Okay, let's go and ask someone else who knows a lot about this, especially the Dutch team and basically women's hockey all over. Darren Cheeseman, welcome. Former GB and England player and currently coach of Lyon. I know. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, but first of all, thanks for joining us. And I'm gonna start with the same question I ask everyone: how have you been experiencing this tournament so far on the women's side?
I think it's been a great tournament. I agree with pretty much everything that's been said already. That it's always an interesting one. We usually see a Champions Trophy this close to an Olympic Games, and of course now the Champions Trophy's gone. It's nice to have a tournament just before the Olympics, just to kind of see where people are at. But just like people said already, you also see potentially people are holding something back, waiting for what actually going to happen in a few weeks' time. So, but it's been crazy exciting. Lots of goals, especially from the Dutch team. And for me, it was also great to see Belgium picking up the first ever bronze medal in this tournament. So, no, it's lots of good performances, and it's been really exciting.
Thanks. You obviously, like I said, you know the Dutch competition very well. We've talked about the goal-scoring machine that they are at the moment. Do you expect a quite big win for them actually, or a very tight game with Germany?
I think it can be an interesting game because Germany are probably one of the two teams in the world who worry the Dutch a little bit. So I think the Germans and the Argentinians are two teams that would worry the Dutch team just because they play in a slightly different way. The Germans mix up between a running game and a passing game, and the Dutch just aren't used to that. They're used to playing against passing teams. And I think with some of the players that the Germans have, they really have an ability to open up the Dutch press because they're really aggressive and they get a lot of players over to bullside. And even Ireland, when they were able to break inside and get across the help side, created a lot of space. And I think a team like Germany that has a bit more quality, I think you'll actually see a bit more of a balanced game. But the challenge is, once the Dutch score one, they score two, and then it could become very messy after that. So, yeah, it just depends on how well Germany managed to start the game.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a last question about the Netherlands. We discussed the fact that they have such a large group of players to choose from. How good is the upcoming generation as a coach working in the Netherlands? How good is the next generation that's ready actually to keep performing at the highest level for the Netherlands?
Yeah, I think it's, we've spoken about it for years, the Dutch conveyor belt of players. And you're looking at their senior players now, Eve de Voordem, Marie Versvoor, Kaya van Maasaker. They're all still dominating, but then you also see the next generation, so Laura Nunning, Felice Albers, even Freddie Matler, who we consider a senior player now. She's 24, and she's like the world's best striker at the moment. But then you also have a player like Stella van Giels, who joins for her first ever tournament after making her debut a few weeks ago. She comes from the Potentials program in Holland, which is not the junior national team, but it's the best club players that are not in the national team. And it just shows that they've got programs, they've got players at a crazy depth that are just waiting for their opportunity to step into the national team. And I think post-Olympics, when there's some retirements, you'll see some pretty exciting players coming through.
All right, thanks, Darren. Maybe last question. What's your pronostic for the game?
Yeah, maybe 4-2, 5-2 to Holland.
Okay. What is it, 4-2 or 5-2? You need to be exact here.
Okay, let's go 5-2.
Okay. Hat-trick for Matla?
I think at least a hat-trick from Matla. She's crazy.
All right. Thanks a lot, Darren, for to have joined us, and let's talk soon. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Guys, do you follow his pronostic, or what do you expect?
I would like it to be a little bit closer than that. I don't know about you, Brian.
Yeah, I'd like it to draw with shootouts.
You want the shootouts?
Yeah, I'd like to see the shootouts, and yeah, I always like the underdog, the underdog situation as well. So, and certainly, it's not a team that's going to be walked over, Germany. I don't think so. If it's 4-2 in the end, it's because the score blows out and the keeper's off situation. Yeah. I think they can keep it closer than. I hope for them that they can.
So, what are we expecting as a scoreline?
2-2.
Goal scorers?
I hope 2 for Stappenhorst and Matla and probably De Goede. Yeah, and if it blows out,
choice.
Yeah. If it blows out, then Van Marsac has scored a couple as well on the corners.
James?
I'm just gonna copy Darren.
That's too easy.
I feel like
easy.
there's plenty of experience in this room. No, I think he's mentioned the names of the people who are most likely to score. I do think that I don't necessarily like shootouts. It gives me stress from my playing days. But I do think that it's very possible that this could go down to shootouts. If the German team manages to keep their structure, and historically the German teams are both very structured, and I think that they can come up with a solution for the Dutch attack.
I sure hope it will be the case, because then we can just have a little bit more hockey, a little bit more quality hockey today. Personally, I would go for 4-1 Holland. That's just my personal feeling. Thanks a lot, guys, for your expertise and your look on this game. We'll obviously watch it together with a nice beer, and we'll see everyone together after the game at 2 o'clock. I have a special guest that will join us last minute. Actually, a player who was at the European Cup, and he will join us in the sofa. So stay tuned to watch the post-game discussion. And for now, it leaves you with 15 minutes to go and get a snack or a drink, and to be ready for this final. Thanks a lot, and see you in a bit.